All right, hello everyone. It's been a while that I actually did any kind of streaming, uh, not even like video games, to be honest. But recently, in the last couple of weeks, basically, maybe a month. Let me just take this one down. Okay. Um, I'm basically just trying and see if my setup is working or not at the moment. Also, I like to give a small introduction to the project and to myself if you don't know me. Um, but it's good to be back. It's a different setup. I used to have a computer, but now I'm just working on my laptop, which is interesting. But hopefully it works. Hopefully you can enjoy. You can just read everything on the screen and it won't really lag. That's the main idea. So my name is Ben. I'm from Scotland and I'm a game designer. Um, and I started to work on on a new project recently. Um, Basically, the whole idea of this new game, as you will see, is coming from a an experience. Basically, um, recently I played Resident Evil Requiem, and I really liked it. And after the game, I decided that this is the time for me to basically go back and play all the older Resident Evil games. And yeah, since March, I spent more time with Resident Evil than I actually care to admit. And while I was playing Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I skipped 7 this time, and then 8, and some of the spin-offs as well, Revelation 1 and 2. Um, I there was a question that was just bugging me for a time. In the newest Resident Evil 9, you can play the game from third perspective or first person as well. And Leon is greatly designed for third person, um, but but we definitely have first person character as well in there. And I was like, okay, I really like fixed cameras. I really like that from the older games, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, even Code Veronica as well. But Code Veronica is not really my favorite game in the series. And I was thinking of other games that since then came and try to do some Resident Evil clone or inspiration, getting inspiration from Resident Evil. And most of them are having a fixed camera and selectable third person as well, which is from a game design perspective, it's not really ideal because you either want to design your levels for a fixed camera perspective or for third person. The two are very different and they don't really work well. But when Resident Evil 7 became first person, it was a huge shift, a huge paradigm shift. And it worked really well because the entire game was basically designed. I mean, the levels were designed for that perspective, and that's why it worked really well. And if you have a look on Resident Evil 8 Village, first and foremost, it's a first person game, and then later on, they released the third person perspective as a free DLC, I think, and it didn't really, translate to the game again because the game was designed for first person. Um, in general, though, I really like fixed cameras. I really like that kind of atmosphere that creates it. But I never really liked in the first couple of games that I never really had a control over my shooting. I didn't know where to aim. I mean, it was automated, auto aim basically. So I always felt like it was like a little bit of luck, and basically the engine decided if I hit the head. I know you can kind of aim, and there is like, some movements, and you wait for the zombie with the shotgun, basically just aiming up for the right moment, and you can hit the head. But that wasn't really, deliberate in that sense. So I started to think, can I actually marry the fixed camera with an FPS, first person perspective? That was the main question for this prototype. Can it work? Does it feel right? Does it confuses the player? Does it make you nauseous? Can you read it? Stuff like that. So I jumped into Unreal Engine, and as you can see, this is just the prototype level at the moment. And I started to, um, write code for the fixed camera, for the character, for everything. I really like to work on my own. I really like to put everything together on my own and not using any kind of, templates or written code from marketplace. I need assets for sure because I'm not an artist, never been. But apart from that, I really like to have control over my design and over my code. So that's how it looks at the moment. We have the camera working, and you can kind of move. Let me just 1 second. This is too loud, and you're gonna get echo, but now it's fine. So you can move in a tank control way. This is tank control on the character, basically. You can just walk, turn. When you walk, you can walk, turn. When you idle, you turn 90 degree. You can run. And basically that's it. That's the whole, tank control from the older days. It translates well to keyboard. It translates well to a controller for the D-pad, because these are just directional movements. But on an analog stick, the stick on a controller, it's actually really tricky, and I haven't finished it yet. It kind of works, but it works in a way like it works in Resident Evil 0 HD. It's bad. I'm gonna come back to that, and later on I'm gonna fix it, because I have an idea how I can, but at the moment it just not really. So yeah, you can move around. Camera changes as you walk out of the distance of the camera, or out of the box, basically. Um, that was actually pretty easy. I thought these systems are more complex in a sense, and it would be much harder to implement it in a modern engine. But it was fairly simple, to be honest. Didn't really have any sort of problems. Animations are fine as well. Not too many that I needed to outsource. So it's actually okay. And here comes the trickier part. In Resident Evil, in the older games, you can aim with a button, so it pulls up the weapon, and you are not able to move, just aim. And that was my idea as well for the FPS here. So you moving around, you explore the wannabe, I don't know, mention something, and then when you have an enemy, you click a button and you become first person. And in first person, you are not able to move. You can only aim and turn around the camera. So it's like a decision, just like in all the Resident Evil games, um, where you do I want to shoot? Do I commit to this or not? Unnamed. Hi. I know it's a bit early to be asking, but what kind lore do you think you'll be adding? That's the thing. Thanks for joining. Um, it is becoming a game, slowly but surely. But it started out as a prototype, but the I worked on it a lot, and like I said it earlier, it was just a design question, of theory, basically. Can the FPS, this part of the game, work well with fixed camera? And as it turned out, because I was so sure that it's not really viable, but it is, and I'm gonna show you why later on as well in later streams. mm, Lore wise, I don't know yet. When we are talking about lores in video games, especially older ones, what I really liked in those games that you didn't have a lot explained to you, like bits and bobs you get, but not like everything is given to you. There were room for imaginations, room for you putting together pieces in your head, just like what Dark Souls do and did. Um, and I like that kind of approach. So mine's probably going to be something like that. It's definitely an interesting mechanic, but does this work with fast-paced enemies? No, it doesn't work with fast-paced enemies, and that's why I have slow zombies here. Um, it won't work. That's the whole thing about game design and game design theory. When you do a mechanics, you need to match it with everything. And I knew at when I started, this is not gonna be a fast-paced game. This is going to be a slow burn, slow game where exploration and puzzle um, solving is the huge focus, and enemies, they're gonna be only a few but really deadly, and you can either escape, just dodging them, try to walk around them, or kill them if you have enough ammunition. Oh, so like a Metroidvania. Yes, would love to see the zombies. All right, let's do that because I do have zombies here, um, and I need to put this on the map. I'm just gonna put you here. The reason why I started the streaming part of this because it's the gameplay loop, the core mechanics are mainly done. So there's gonna be the zombie. So, and this is the problem. Like from this point of view, you won't be able to see the zombie. But if you go to first person, it takes away that kind of pressure because you see so much, and this is a problem that I still need to solve it somehow. But basically, if I go closer, the zombie starts to come, and I just so that's what they do. Come, come, come on. Sometimes the AI is still finicky. It's all, tweaking at this point. Oh, you can just go around. Yeah, zombie gave up. Yeah, that there is like a trigger box that doesn't really work well. I need to double check that trigger box. So even if it's overlapping twice, because that can happen sometimes, is still catching you and still chasing you. So that's happening, and then let's try and kill it. This is another thing. Right now, I can just stun it like that. This will become like um, a chance stun basically. So not even chance, but with like a bigger gun, like with a revolver, for example, it will be 100% every time you can stun it. But a revolver doesn't work like an automated pistol. But a pistol, it's like maybe 10%, 15% that you can stun your zombie basically. I see, fair enough, lol. I'm also trying to make games, so it's really nice to see other devlogs. Thank you very much. Um, Let me show you that. Yeah, here. The weapons. Because I do have a revolver right now. That was the first gun, basically. I, I did. Because with the revolver, um, you can actually do this. One, hopefully. Ah, it wasn't a headshot. But you can actually headshot it. Let's go a bit close. I'm just actually gonna view closer. One should be a headshot. Well, there's no head anymore. So you need to click every shot and then the ammo must be limited or something. Yes, yes, exactly. So there won't be like fully auto because only three guns that I'm actually planning to do. Um, Reason why I am not an artist. I don't make art assets, and what I really don't like to do is animations. Um, I can I can program animations if I have the asset, but it's really hard to retarget an animation to another character, to another skeleton, because even if the two of them are sharing the same skeleton, like the animation is based on the Unreal mannequin and your character is based on Unreal mannequin, still the proportions are not entirely the same. So the first thing that breaks are the fingers, and because I have a first person perspective, it really shows when you're holding a gun or loading a weapon. So I'm not gonna be bothered by animations really, and that's why I'm only have three. Dude, tell me about it. And there's also the music. Music is actually really okay for this one, for this prototype, because I'm really going low key with music, so I'm not really scared about that. Animations, yeah, a lot. I spent on just on this when the zombie grabs you, uh, just right here. I spent I think 3 days because I just couldn't make it work really well, that pad animation, and I actually needed to use like a beta feature in Unreal Engine. Um, it's horrible. Like, I know it's just not my thing. Like, I do admire animators. It's just not really my thing. Not something I enjoy to do. I enjoy programming things like that, and I enjoy putting it together when it's easy and nice. But I'm more of a gameplay programmer, really. Oh, I see. I keep the animation stuff in mind. 3 days is brutal. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad I have patience to do these things. But on the other hand, when it becomes a chore, or when I feel that's the good thing about this project in particular. I have a different mindset making this than my honors project before. If I feel it is too much, then I step away for a few days. By the way, this seems very retro inspired. Why not use pixelated graphics? That's an idea. What I like to do, what at least I would do in the future, and that's like a really strong consideration at the moment for me. Um, Base assets are gonna be higher poly, definitely. And with post processing, I can actually make it look like more retro. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Um, it all depends what I can find, really. Um, I know, that there are that's hard because people doesn't really like asset flips, and people doesn't really know what asset flip means, and most casual gamers think that using assets from marketplace is asset flipping. It's not. Regardless, they still give you shit. um, I think if this is going to be an actual game, then I need to consider using one artist, and maybe asking for a custom asset pack or something like that. Let me see. So yeah, that's the project itself, and I'm currently working on the pistol part. That's actually what I like to do. And during these streams, I also have a goal, because you know tutorials on YouTube. There are so many great guys, really, and I learned a lot. But what is missing from most of the content creators is how to make Unreal Engine games efficiently. Efficiently, what I mean by efficiently. When you watch a tutorial how to shoot, for example, how to shoot the gun, how to jump, how to do anything really really um, small things. They just show you the blueprints in your character blueprint, or even on level blueprint, and you never really get the chance to learn how to separate things from the very beginning. For example, and that's what I like to teach people throughout these devlogs as well, and just streaming the work I'm doing. For example, I have the player controller here, and I have my hero. Player controller basically should be a thing and should be using really really heavily, because you want things in the player controller. um, how can I explain that? The player controller is the brain for what the player wants to do. For example, um, looking looking around, and how the player wants to do that, or aiming and what aiming does, and how does that work. The player wants to aim, so it should live in the player controller, and you want the player controller to communicate with your character, because your character blueprint does the thing. So I'm holding down a button as a player, and that tells the player controller that that button is basically doing X thing, and how the X thing is executed. It should be about the player character blueprints, and this is just one separation. For example, other stuff like you know parent children is pretty basic, but still there are things that shouldn't really live in a blueprint, and instead you want to make interfaces, you want to make um, enums, and most importantly structs. So you are not doing these things, not even here in pistol right now. No, actually here, because that's what I'm gonna do. Here, all these variables, these ones down here, they shouldn't be here. They should be in a data struct. It's just cleaner, more efficient, and if you ever wanna, work in a AAA studio, or at least AA studio, you should learn how to structure your own code, and where things should live. And that's what I'm practicing as well. And hopefully I can teach some of these to people. Asset flipping was definitely a new concept to me. Yeah, asset flipping is something like the definition of asset flipping should be that someone is taking a thing from marketplace, mostly maps and entire templates, and doesn't really touch it and just release it as a new game. That's asset flipping for sure. When you just have from marketplace, like I'm gonna have a mansion or some sort of villa or some sort of castle building or old building, and from the demo level I'm gonna expand it a bit, but I don't really like lab design, but I definitely need to. That's not asset flipping. I'm using assets because I am not making art assets. I'm making programming stuff. So I'm gonna use them and alter them. That's not really asset flipping, but unfortunately, the general consensus is that this is still bad when it shouldn't really be. Keep the structuring in mind. That's definitely a smart thing to do. Yeah. So for example, for the struct, let me show you one thing. You can have different structs for different things. I'm currently working on reloading, and I have all these in, and these are just values that lives outside of the blueprint of the weapon blueprint. And then this one, and when I want to use them, I just call the data, I break the data, and I can use it. And this is good because um, it's not just a separation. You might want, for example, I have a default, basically a default value for everything. And then in the child, uh, you can assign a local variable to it. And you are not um, changing the data. You are getting the data for a local variable, and the local variable is changing it, and it's much more efficient than anything else. Okay, so let's do some working. Where was I? Pistol. So in here, it finally working really well. You can shoot stuff like that. Now I don't have any ammunition in there, and this is the thing that I just worked in the morning. Instead of having like a proper reload animation, I just do this, and it reloads. So it's cheating because I don't feel like I need to work on this for 15-20 hours just to try and make sure that this idle aiming fingers are perfectly matched to the start of the reloading, and then the end of the reload it comes back to this exact position, because just no, this is not something I want to do. So I'm gonna cheat it a bit. um, I cheat it like that. It goes down like you are putting the actual magazine in there. It's funny because I have like a BB gun at home, so I was actually practicing how I would put in the magazine, how it would look in my hand, how I turn the gun, what feels comfortable, what feels real, and this is what I found, which kind of looks okay. And with the sound effect, it's not too bad, I would say. Later on, I can come back and do a proper reload animation, but right now, I have more, pressing things to do, and this is deliverable. Yeah, it's really smooth, reload trick, Can't you use like a fantasy gun that doesn't need to be reloaded but needs brakes? Oh, that's very clever. So the actual reload is off screen. Yes, it is off screen. It's the same off screen things when you see the character itself. It doesn't have a weapon in her hand, but when you go into the FPS, it just plays an audio cue that takes her. She takes off the gun from her mm, holster. Yeah, that's the word. So there are many things that as a solo developer you can do, and it still feels okay. You don't even pick it up, most of the time. But what I've done here, it's where is it? Down here. No, where are you? Yeah, reload visuals. So right now it lives in my character blueprint. This thing, this is actually ugly. I don't even like it, um, but it works. Um, but it's hard coded for my pistol, and I don't like the idea to hard code anything basically to one particular thing. So I'm gonna take all these variables just now, make a structure, and use the struct as a default thing that I can. Yeah, so if these are living in a struct, these values, then I can assign the struct to the weapon base here. Then every child will inherit the weapon structure data, that struct data, and I can set all these values independent. Yes, okay, yeah, that should work. Yeah. Haha, does she actually draw the weapon? No, never. There is no animation for that. It's just a clever, like, blackout, fading to black. The fading to black is basically like you are winking. So no, that there are no animations. No animation. It's just I even spawn because that's how that looks like. So I have the base body, which is a full body, and I also have the FPS arm separately. And when you change the perspective, that arm becomes visible in FP. In fixed person, you don't see it, but basically it's always in that kind of animation state. This is the first animation state for the FP arm, the aim low. So there are so many smart things that I think you can do. You just need to think outside of the box sometimes. Oh, bro, I have to go now, but I'm gonna add this live stream to my watch later. Thank you very much. And really, I really appreciate that you jumping in. So, oh, so the hands are the camera. Um, kind of, not really. The camera is just leaves there, and I stopped the clipping by near clip settings. So that's why it's not. Also, the owner can't see the head either, so that's why it's not clipping anymore. Thank you, and have a good one as well. Thanks for stopping by. And me just basically let's do weapon data. Yes. So I have the reload data. What else I have? Import. That's just the view data. That's the decoy fire reload. Yeah, it should live in the reload data, I think, because it's part of the reload. or reload visual. I can make a new one. Should I? Yeah, I think so. Let's make a new one. Reload visual data, I think. And this is going to be reload logic. Require data. Nah, I'm gonna make just one. It's fine. Otherwise, I would, I think I would spread too thin. So yeah, I need a reload visual. Um, reload visual length, which is a float. I need the location offset, the rotation offset. So reload location offset, and that's a vector. I need a reload rotation offset, which is a rotator, and then mm, yeah, the gun field alpha. I also need that one. Let's name it something else. Hand tilt rotation, maybe. Okay. That's a rotation, so that's still a rotator. Then I need a micro move amount, basically. The micro move, it's something new that I realized I really need. If you look at closely how the reload happens, the weapon is still static. It doesn't feel like you are actually inserting anything into that, and I don't like that. So yeah, that's why the micro movement is there. So I'm gonna make it like move a little, but I'm unsure how much at the moment. Um, so um, so basically, I can data to here. I'm gonna do. Oh no, it's already here. I think. Yes. So I am going to give this one. What's the length of the timeline? 130. So that should be. Oh, where are we? 130. Okay. Now I just need to set that. Same thing. So copy. Paste. The rotation offset. Paste. Do I actually need that until rotation? Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. Because I rotate the actual bone, so I actually don't need that. Do I? Hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna do 10 on the roll. I think 10 on the roll probably. Um, we see. I don't know if I'm actually gonna use that value, because uh, just the rotation offset and the location offset should be enough, as I actually do an animation rotation, rotation in the animation blueprint itself. So yeah, I think. Okay, so mm, so the next one are actually these. So that's fine. And in pistol, I just to be sure we have the data. Yeah, data is there. Perfect. So now in here, I can actually use all of these to assign. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna keep this just now, and I make a new customer, which is start return show. Like here. Sorry guys, just checking my emails. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need this either. Okay. Um. So when this is true, start run reload. Not like that. Just like this. Right now. I'm also waiting for a game, so hopefully it will come. I need all these. Gun. Because we get the arm relative location and the relative rotation, and we set reload weapon rest location. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Uh, and now we're gonna get. I just need weapon. So that we need to make sure it's valid. One second, guys. All good. All good. I'm waiting for my pre-order. I'm gonna play 007 First Light, and it should come in an hour now. Uh, so we see. So we get the equipped weapon, we make sure this is valid, and then I can get the mm, 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 get reload data, and we can break this. And now we are going to get set. So the location offset is this. The reload is that. And I'm gonna make a reload variable here. Reload by, which is a float, like that. And we really don't need this at all. So that's fine. So that is valid. Like that. Okay, so we get the relative location of these, and we set it to the rest. We get the relative rotation, and we set it to the rest rotation. And even all. Okay, next one. So we are here, basically. We just finished that part, and we also set those stuff. So the next is to have a timeline. So I'm gonna create a timeline. That's timeline. I just call it timeline, and we're gonna play it from the start. And this timeline, the length is 1. I'm gonna add a track, which called reload alpha. I need a few keys, basically. Let's say that's 0, 0, 0.05, 1, 077, 1, and at 1, 0. So it looks like this. Okay. So this is the coded animation, basically. So what this timeline does, it brings from 0 to 005, it brings down the gun. So what we are doing here basically right now, okay, back, I want graph because I'm on So the timeline does this movement basically. It brings the gun down, rotate it a bit, and brings it up again. So what? That's how it works. Um, from 0 to 1, brings it down, hold it there for a sec. Um, Not a sec, but for a while, hold it there for a while, and then brings it up again. And while it's holding, I'm also going to, while it's holding, the animation blueprint itself rotates the right hand slightly, basically. So we go back here like that. Um, so the play rate, let's see. So the way I'm gonna do that, because what is the play rate? Time. Um, Set play rate. That one. Blank space animation sequence. Where is that? Blank space as a sequence. So display rate. Mm, mm, just the turning direction. Sequence animation. Blank space. Mm, just so I know it's the same. All right, that's the same one. So before I do this, I should have... Yes, cool. So we set this from the start. And we're gonna get this one. So the visual length, I need to divide it. Length divided one divided, because that's gonna give, yeah, okay. So the next thing, 1 divided by 3, by position. I need this first of all. This one is going to set my arm rotation from the alpha. Okay. And then I need you, just you, before the blood. I need this as well. So, and that I already set it. Yes, okay. I need to add them together. If this is greater. Greater than 75, 77. I need branch on this. If that's true, we need a scene. probably degree. Same degree. Micro movement. Mm, 40. That's gonna give me a really, really readable. I don't know. It's gonna be really. Okay. Let's see. So that one. And then I am going to multiply this by u. No, stupid. This with the same multiplied by the movement data. And now I'm gonna make a vector like on the z1. I'm gonna add u to this. This can be switched, it's fine. It doesn't matter which one to add first. It's interchangeable, the adding in math. Now we can actually learn it, I think. Yes, now we can learn it. So we learn. I need you as well. So we load that to the tree. Need more space. So that goes to B, and the rest location goes there. That goes to B. I'm actually going to send this straight. And goes there. Okay. And the pause is just lerping B to A. Make this straight. That's the force. And I basically just need to lerp the arm rotation now, I think. So that can just go there. I'll just leave it like that so I can actually see these values. Okay. I'm gonna add reroute. Then basically on time I'm finished, I just send this one back. Yeah. Okay. So this should just work. I'm gonna do this. That's fine. Okay, let's see what I've done. Mm, yeah, cool. I can still shoot. Okay. One thing, it doesn't drive it down. Can put this one at the end. Pistols now. Making sure that this is set. It is set. Okay. And that one is set as well. Okay. That's fine. We can close you. Location of set. Location of set. Rotation of set. Rotation of set. Increment of set. And we're using this one as well. I'll just call it reload alpha instead. Ah, I know. I never had the alpha in the lurk, yeah? Yeah, that's fine. That's why, that's why. Mm, where am I using this? The other one here. Yeah. So I am actually going to set this. Or just using reroute from the alpha. One reroute, that is fine. Need one down. Okay, so okay. And I need one more. Yeah. So I'm gonna take another one. Like that. So one lurp, another lurp, lurp. That should work just now. Mm. Okay, let's try without you. So what? Oh yeah, because that's the force part. Let me just see. Let's take this whole thing. That's true. And you. Okay, and now let's make a comparison between the two. So this. Mm, I actually want to see if they are the same thing. So just for trying out, I'm gonna add I'm going to add test out input edit test, and that's going to be like that one. Okay, so I'm going to copy all of these. Test. So I can see both of them working at the same place or at the same time, and it's on started. Yes, it's on started. Cool. So that's gonna be the old one. This is the new one. Okay. Shoot. So that's the old one. That's the uh, new one. Old one. New one. Not entirely the same. I mean, old one, new one, new, old. Bit too much. I think it's too harsh. Too um too quick. The old one. Let me just so I don't have to wait for actual reloading. Ready. Try reload. Pause. Let's just do that for a second. Yeah, it's I think the main problem is that this is the new one and this is really quick compared to that, the old one. The old one has an actual lerp. The new one is just goes down. And it's probably this. That won't help, to be honest. Um, yeah. So the visual length. Okay. Because I made the timeline universal, so the timeline itself it's 1 second long. And I try to use a play rate on the timeline. So it's slower. I'm gonna have a smoke. And then let me think about it. Just 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know why I used playrate. Stupid. Let's just set the timeline length instead. But then it messes up the curve. No, I guess. Yeah. The main reason why I'm struggling with this because I want to use a different weapon, and for the different weapon, obviously it's gonna be a different curvature. Mm. Let's have a look. The old one, the new one, old one, new one, old one, new. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is it. Um, so I'm setting this at 18, just like the old one. 18 to 1. And yeah, okay. So that's 130. So I can pretty much set you to 07. And that gives me the same. Yeah, but if it's too. Hmm. But if it's longer, then it's gonna be different. I mean, let's have a look. That's fine. I'm gonna make a note for me on this to come back and actually check it. But this is actually works. Um, and the main difference between the two. Um, so this one here at the bottom, this is now scalable. Scalable because I am using weapon reload data, and the weapon reload data holds all these values. Um, in the weapon base, I can set a default one, and then individually in the children, I can have very different location offsets. Micro movement, I'm not using it because it messes up, but I'm gonna have a look on that. The micro movement is just for there because I wanted to actually not to look that static, but I guess it's not too bad at all. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I actually like it. So yeah, so I'm just gonna take you and reroute it. And picks up that stuff as well. Um, but I can confidently delete you, the test one as well. And when it's true, I can actually reload. So move this whole thing up just there. So it's 5, no 3, perfect. And it's actually reloading. And when it's done, it's not reloading. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it for this stream. I'm actually pretty hungry. Um, but what I achieved is the introduction that I wanted to do at the beginning, and actually basically transferring my very pistol limited hard coded reload animation that I built. It's not an animation, it's a build, just basically moving the weapon down and rotating a bit. Um, Animation coding into a scalable version of it. So now it's not hard coded to just one weapon, it's actually driven by values set in the individual weapons. Um, and I am very pleased of this. Next time, I have to think what's next actually. There are some issues that I need to troubleshoot, but definitely going to be a next time of streaming. This is going to be a regular stream from now on. Every time I work, even just for half an hour, I'm gonna put this on, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. Hopefully the stream itself, the quality itself, it's bearable. Not just the content, the actual quality of it, you know. But thanks for joining today. I'm glad that some of you were here with me, and basically see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.